please. Thank you. Judge, this is case number 263 on the calendar in the matter of Garay versus Romaniak. Parties have been sworn in, Your Honor. You may be seated.
Don't look so unhappy. It's only money. Right?
That's right.
It's only money. Well, you had an unusual arrangement with the defendant according to your complaint, and he seems to acknowledge this was your arrangement. You were dating, you became romantically involved, decided to live together. Mm-hmm. You're from the United States?
Yes.
And you're from?
Canada.
And this was the arrangement that you made, from my understanding, that while you were in the United States, where you were planning to spend half your time, you would pay.
Mm-hmm.
And while you were in Canada,
I would pay.
you would pay. So you spent 6 months in the States, and you paid.
That's right.
All the expenses.
Yes.
And then you moved to Canada, and you ran out of money.
I paid. I'll explain that a little later.
Okay. So tell me, how did you enter into this rather unique arrangement with funds?
Well, it was just that we were going together last year, and then in November, we got engaged in September. In November, he left, and we went together for a while, and then in April, we got back together again. And in the middle of April, he asked me would I like to go to Canada to live with him, and or to stay up there in Canada for the summer months, and then come back, because I worked in Palm Springs. And I said yes. I said, but how are we going to, or we worked out how we were going to pay for the money and that. And I said, well, while we're here, while we're in the United States, I will pay for everything here. So I paid for his payments on his house insurance, his electric, his gas bills, and everything.
So you were living in his house?
No, I have my own house. We both have a home in Palm Springs.
So that you were paying for your house, and you were paying for his house while he was here?
Yes, yes. Okay.
Okay.
So then we left and we went to Canada. We arrived in Canada. We first went to see his daughter, and then we went to a little town called Penticton. So we started looking around and that, and we saw this one house that we thought. And we said, well, Dad, I wish we could get it. And I said, well, look, I will put the money down, the $3,000 down. You pay the payments on it. So that was the arrangements. And then we moved in the house on June the 1st.
This house that you purchased?
The one we purchased in Penticton, Canada. Okay. And we lived in that house. The middle of July, he left me and went to see his daughter for 4 days.
Did he tell you he was leaving?
Yes, he told me the day before that he was leaving the next morning.
Had you had an argument? Had you not been
We
getting
had been
along?
out bickering and arguing, and it was just like he had his children there, and I was tired and everything else. But he left and went and lived with his daughter for 4 days. When he came back, he says, that's it. The house is going on the market. He had been to the real estate office already. When he came back, I was at the neighbors. I was so upset and everything else that he had left. So I came home. I didn't know what to do. I just said, I can't live like this. The tension was so bad and everything else. So I left, and I came down back to Palm Springs. My car was in bad condition. He had supposed to fix the radiator. He didn't. I had to keep putting water in it. My air conditioning wasn't working. I had 2 blowout tires.
It was
and
a terrible
emotionally,
experience.
it was a horrible
It was
thing.
a horror. Go ahead.
When I got back, I had to go to the doctors. My friends had to take me to the doctors. My nerves were so bad, and I've been on nerve pills since. All I want is, gives me my money, I'll sign the house to him, and then I'm finished.
What money are you talking about, Mr. Garay?
$5,000.
Well,
Not all the other money I've spent, the $5,000.
What's $5,000 for?
The $3,000 are for the house, the money I put down on the house. He can have the house. And also, the rest is right here what I have paid out. On his house here, all the payments, the house, expenses that I had coming down. I had to stay in a motel, gasoline,
well, Ms.
my
Garay,
car breaking down.
All those expenses you're not going to get back. You know that. You know that.
But it still comes to $4,845.20. And this is what I have paid out, Your Honor.
Well, what you've paid out is not necessarily something that he agreed to pay you back.
And this is what he has paid out. The bottom amount is American money.
All right, sir, let me hear you.
Your Honor, I don't believe what she's saying. I don't
That's,
believe
listen
what-
to me.
I-
Listen to me.
Last year I took her for... Yes, ma'am.
You don't have to believe what she's saying.
Okay.
I got to believe what
Okay,
she's saying.
last year I took her for 4 months down to Canada. I paid all expenses, right? I sent her a plane ticket to Winnipeg. That's 3,000 miles away from here. And we toured the whole Western Canada. I took her through the prairies to Banff, Lake Louise, ice fields, and all over.
Who paid for
Vancouver.
that?
I paid for the whole thing for 4 months, ma'am.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I promise to give you the best of myself and to ask of you no more than you can give. That's her promise to me.
And later today,
The first time and the last time I've ever met her, she tried running me and my husband off the road because she was, I guess, mad that he was going to stay with me and not her.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Splitting up after an 11-month romantic relationship, Jean Garay now claims John Romaniuk owes her thousands.
Okay, let me ask you this question. So what made you decide that this arrangement, this relationship, wasn't going to work when you went to your daughters?
Because when we got to Vancouver, Palm Springs, we had an argument because every day her man friend phoned for about 45 minutes on the phone while I was there. And I said I didn't like the idea that he phoning every day. So she got mad at me. She said, that's none of your business. So she said, leave the house. So I left. I didn't see her until middle of April.
When you were back in Canada, sir, you bought the house.
I'm coming to that, ma'am.
Get there.
Oh, then middle of April, somehow we got back together.
You're in the house that
Yes.
you just bought.
Yes.
You decide to go to your children.
Why? Because when my son came over to visit us, my granddaughter spilled a little bit of milk on a rug that we didn't have no furniture or anything like that. So she got mad and she said, your son doesn't know how to bring the children up.
So that's when you got mad.
So I got angry. So I went to my daughter's place, because my daughter's got I have 4 grandchildren, and to spend over there. When I came back, she put the sign of her own to sell the house. House was for sale. I said, what are you doing? And then beside that, all the payments were...
So don't tell me about payments, because let me tell you what my thinking is,
Okay.
sir. She put down $3,000 towards the purchase price of that house. Now, you have family in Canada. Your
Yes.
son lives there, your
Yes.
grandchildren live there, and you will be going back to Canada.
Yes.
And you love this house that you
Yes.
originally bought.
Yes.
So it seems to me that if you are no longer a couple,
Yes.
that this house is something that shouldn't be binding you together.
No.
Right?
Right.
Mr. Romaniuk, what I'm saying to you, sir, is she doesn't want to know you anymore. You don't want to know her anymore.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So you shouldn't have to be bothered with this business. She should be out of the real estate business in Canada, because but for you, she wouldn't be there.
Exactly.
Got it? So you, sir, are going to give her the $3,000 to get her out of the Canada business. You got it? And then if you sell the house for more, she will wish you good luck. And if you sell the house for less and you don't get the $3,000 back, so be it. And if you can rent the house and make a couple of bucks when you rent the house, terrific. And if you want to live there and retire there yourself, you can do that. Judgment is for the plaintiff in the amount of $3,000. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I promise to give you the best of myself and to ask of you no more than you can give. I promise to accept you the way you are. I promise to respect you. I promise to love you in good times and bad times. That's her promise to me. Now I didn't care what I spent because I loved her and I enjoyed every minute with her. That's it. That's my
He
point.
loved me, but I couldn't walk down the street and look at anybody else because I was going to bed with them all.
And now the next case.
Parties on New Decker versus Key. Step forward, please.
29-year-old hairdresser Lisa Newdecker is suing her ex-boyfriend, carpenter Christopher Key, 30, for money she loaned him before he met his current wife, Melissa.
Well, I've read your papers. There are a couple of interesting little quirks in these papers that I want to find out about. But basically, Miss Newdecker, this was your boyfriend about 5 years ago.
About 6.5 actually is when I started dating him.
And some 5 years ago, you lent him some money.
Over the course of the time we dated, yes.
How did you lend him this money?
He was short of cash and needed to get miscellaneous items, and I went with him and used my credit cards.
So it was basically credit card bills.
Yes.
And how much altogether was it that he charged at that point?
It was approximately $2,600.
And when you separated, according to these papers, he made a lot of payments.
Yes.
But that he still owes you $870.37.
Approximately, yes.
When was the last time he made a payment?
On October 4th, I received the check about October 7th.
And then he stopped making payments.
Yes.
Why?
Well, in the beginning of the breakup, there was a discrepancy when she came to me with the amount of how much was owed. I didn't remember it totaling up to $2,600, and I told her at the time that I didn't remember it being $2,600, and she insisted that it was.
So when you insist that it was and you say it wasn't, did you look over all the bills?
No,
Why?
because we were separated, it wasn't a matter of me going over and sitting down with her and going over and saying this was mine, that wasn't. She said that it was, and I had figured it to be around $1,600, and
Well,
which is a considerable difference.
So why didn't you go over there and look over the bills? That's a $1,000 discrepancy.
We weren't a couple any longer. It just
So what? You weren't a couple. It seems to me it's now more of a business transaction than anything else. You mean you just thought you'd blow it off?
No. I didn't just think I'd blow it off. It was, like I said, I didn't see it that way, and she's seen that it did.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Sometimes men do really dumb things. You always get caught because women are great snoops.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. 29-year-old hairdresser Lisa Newdecker is suing her ex-boyfriend, carpenter Christopher Key, 30, for money she loaned him before he met his current wife, Melissa.
She had the papers to show you, sir, what items you purchased, I assume. Do you still have them?
Yes.
Well, take a look. 5 years later, sir, take a look.
It's a list of what all the paperwork is.
Once again, like I said, we were a couple at the time, and a lot of these items on here, if you would look them over, I don't know if she's gave you a list of this.
I have nothing.
Would be considered as, you know, when we lived together, if we went out someplace and I paid, I didn't consider it to be a loan.
What do you mean?
Like there's an item on here, half the cost of portraits that we had done together.
Just a second. You had portraits done together. And she put down half the cost.
Right.
I paid the full amount on my credit card.
Well, that sounds fair to me. Doesn't that sound fair to you? Did you go and sit for the portrait?
Well, yes, I did.
She's not asking you to pay for the whole thing, just half.
Right. I understand that.
So give me another one.
Sega game.
Sega game.
Oh, sorry, Sega game tapes.
Those yours?
Yeah. They are now. At the time, you know, like I said, we were a couple.
You're a couple. So a Sega game, yours. Go.
Well,
give me another one.
Compact discs. Did she listen to the music too? I don't know which
Just a
specific
sec.
compact discs they are. Building supplies. I don't remember that one. Building supplies
What are
for
building
what?
supplies?
I don't remember exactly what it was for, but it was from Builder Square, and he was a subcontractor. I'm not. So
Which
I would
is
have
true. I
no
was
need.
a subcontractor, but at the same time, building supplies. Was it for something that we did? I remember the place that we lived in. There was we were going to put a fence around the place for the guy that we leased from. You know, I mean, there was just different items at different
just
times.
a second. Did you put a fence around the house?
No, we didn't, but the
Well,
materials
if you
were...
didn't, then what are you telling me the story about?
My point is this, though, Your Honor. When we lived together, the things she bought, I didn't keep an itemized list, so I can't very well stand here and argue with her and say, well, I bought this and you bought that, so we should be even, because, like I said, when you're in a relationship with somebody, you don't keep receipts for different things that you buy for each other, but she did because she put them on her card. Now, I don't see, whereas, like I said, in a relationship, that you just do that as a couple.
Can I see the things, please?
Or at least I do.
Miss Newdecker, let me look through some of these things. Men's dress clothes for grandfather's funeral.
I didn't remember that she'd bought them. Like I said, of course, I didn't remember what all was on the list.
She's got the list and she's got the bills. You need a muffler and brakes for your car at one point?
I don't remember that either, but I'm not saying it didn't happen. This has been,
Did you have
like I said,
an El
5 years ago.
Camino?
Yes, I did.
There you go. All right. Now, so I am assuming for the purpose of this case that originally you owed her the $2,600 and that you made payments and she's kept very careful records of those payments and that all she claims that you owe her is $870. But what I really think you're probably angry about, sir, is that she wrote a letter to you which your wife opened. This is your wife?
Yes.
That created some problems for you?
Yeah, but that had nothing to do with the amount that I owed her. I honestly did not remember those other items, so
Okay, well,
I didn't
now-
believe that I owed them.
Well, now you do. So your wife opened this letter, and did that distress you?
Oh, yeah.
Well, step up here. Why did it distress you?
Because she said on the letter that my husband had went to see her 9.5 weeks ago, and I had no idea he was keeping in contact with her because of the first time and the last time I've ever met her, she tried running me and my husband off the road because she was, I guess, mad that he was going to stay with me and not her. We had only been dating on and off for a month.
How long are you married?
2 years now.
Mm-hmm. Everything okay?
Mm-hmm.
Fair?
Yeah.
Okay. You have any children?
Yep.
How old?
She's going to be 21 months.
And that's his baby?
Mm-hmm.
Why'd you have a seat? How come you're still going to this lady to cut your hair?
The purpose for me going to talk to her was because I owed her this money, but I did tell her that I would pay her.
And while you were there, you got your hair cut?
Yeah, I went to her place of business to see her. I don't...
Going to a place of business is one thing. Sitting down and schmoozing and having your hair cut is another thing. That's what really made your wife angry. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Did you charge him for the haircut?
Yeah, I gave him a discount, though.
Should have charged him full price.
I know that now.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Mr. Key, sometimes men do really dumb things. I don't know why they do that. They think they can get away with it. You always get caught. You know why? Because women are great snoops. Terrific. They can smell something that isn't right. Go to a barber. Meanwhile, it sounds to me, Mr. Key, that you got more trouble than the $870 that you owe this lady. It also looks to me as if you've got a very nice but very sad wife and a 21-month-old baby. So you better get your act together. You owe her $870.37. Pay her. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out. There you are.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy,
All parties on Sanders versus Thompson. Step forward.
St. Louis truck driver Lawrence Saunders claims that while he was in jail, his girlfriend Kim Thompson found a new boyfriend who damaged his Jeep and lost his handgun.
Order. All rise. Quiet in the courtroom. All rise. Your Honor, number 34 on the calendar in the matter of Saunders versus Thompson. Parties have been sworn in. Judge, you may be seated.
All right. I gather from these papers you two were engaged, going together for about 10 years.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
And at some point, Mr. Saunders, according to your complaint, you went away for about 2 years.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that a euphemism for jail?
Yes, ma'am.
What were you incarcerated for? Because that becomes important.
Aggravated battery.
On whom? Not on her.
No, ma'am.
Was there a weapon involved?
No, ma'am.
And during the time that you were going to be away, you left the defendant your car,
Yes, ma'am.
a gun,
Yes, ma'am.
and access to your money.
Yes, ma'am.
Where was the money?
Originally, before I left, I resigned from my job. The money was somewhat about $20,000 in a K plan. And
Before a retirement plan.
Yes, ma'am. She had the power of attorney so that she could handle the work, get the money, and handle it.
Okay. So then you come out of jail and you sue her. Not together anymore.
Yes, something like that.
Well, then let me hear the story, sir.
I came out and to retrieve, before getting out, I realized that we were no longer going to be together. I just wanted to come out and receive my property, get rid of the gun, sell it, get my Jeep, get insurance policy that she had of mine, power of attorney back, and go on with my life. Subsequently, I tried to talk with her and get her to give me these things back so that I could go on with my life. She, in turn, gave me problems. They went on for months and months. I couldn't get any of this stuff back.
Do you have your Jeep?
I eventually did get it, yeah. Now, the Jeep I got immediately, but a couple of weeks down the line, I realized that it had some problems in it. A leaning wheel. She had told me before I got out that the windshield was cracked again for the third time, you know, and I was missing a lock, computer lock that goes to a burglar alarm. That's, you know.
All right, let me get to this gun, because I think that's going to be the easiest thing to take care of. What happened to his gun?
I had been carrying the gun in the vehicle.
Why?
At the suggestion of Mr. Saunders, because I did travel every weekend back and forth a considerable distance. There was one occasion where...
Travel where?
To Illinois.
For what?
To visit him.
Okay.
There was an occasion where I had a blowout with the tire. Somebody approached the vehicle while I was waiting for the repair service, and at that time he suggested I should keep the gun in the car for emergency situations like that.
Is that true?
No, that's not true at all. Ma'am, I've been with Kim for 10 years, a decade before I went away. Kim has never touched a gun. She was scared of them. If I had one in the wrong spot in her way, she would come get me to move it. I know that she's as awkward with a gun as she would be with an elephant.
Miss Thompson, what happened to the gun? We're going to start over again.
I was going to go visit Mr. Saunders for a family event. I knew that the vehicle would be searched, so I'd taken the gun out of the car and left it in the home of my third party.
What third party?
My witness, Mr. Hogue.
This is your new boyfriend?
Yes.
So you took the gun out of the car and gave it to him?
I did not give it to him. I put it away, and I informed him that I was going to leave the gun in a certain drawer in the house.
Why didn't you leave the gun in your house?
Because when I was on my way to visit him, I was at Mr. Hogue's house at the time, and I remembered, that gun is out there, I need to get it out. So I just came from the Jeep, put it in the house, and I informed him that I'm going to leave this here while I go visit.
So on your way to visit him, you stopped at his house?
Right.
Had you told him you had a new relationship?
Yes.
Is that right?
Somewhat. I found out on getting out of jail, I found out when I got into my Jeep and opened up the glove compartment and hotel receipts fell out. That's how I found out.
Step up here, sir, because I want to deal with the gun first. What happened? Your name?
My name's Gerald Hogue.
Mr. Hogue, what happened to his gun?
There was a disturbance at my house.
What kind of disturbance?
There was a fight between some friends. The police came. They asked were there any weapons in the home. I told them yes. They seized the weapons. When I talked to Mr. Sanders about his gun, I told him where his gun was. I told him what he needed to do to get it back.
So the gun was really seized because of a problem that existed in your house with the police?
Yes.
And your gun is, you have the license and registration for your gun?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
You know that you can go to the police station and get your gun back if you can prove it's yours.
But I was told so many lies. Originally, she told me that she had the gun.
Well, she already told me one lie, but now we got to the root of it.
Yes, ma'am. But recently, I just found out that, and this is at his word, that the police and I think Jennings have the gun. I have been told so many lies that at a certain point, I stopped dealing with them. I figured I would take it to the court and let the court sort it out.
Mr. Saunders, really all you have to do is go to the police station. When the police have confiscated property, and you can identify that property and satisfy them that the property is yours, and I assume your registration for that gun says what kind of a gun it is. What kind of gun is it?
It's a Taurus 9mm.
You don't need that gun for any particular reason, sir.
No, ma'am. I don't need the gun, and as a convicted felon, I'm not allowed to have a gun. So therefore, they will not give it back to me.
Ah.
Okay.
Your Honor?
Yes.
May I say something, please?
Yes.
I did call the police to try to get the gun back. I informed them that I had power of attorney for that the gun was not Mr. Hogue's, and that I did have power of attorney plus the receipts for the gun. They told me that since I was not the registered owner, that I could not get the gun. I would have to go to court in order to do so. I had contacted a lawyer. They told me it would be $258 to get the gun. I did not feel that I should put out additional monies when Mr. Saunders still owes me money.
The reason his gun is the police station, his property, whether it be a gun, whether it be a hat, whether it be a collection of baseball cards, is because of you.
Right.
So he has to be compensated for that. That's his property. He can't get it out because there's an impediment to it. But the reason that the gun is there is because of you. So you can become the registered owner of the gun for the limited purposes of selling it. And then he gets the money.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
She told me already 3 lies today, and we've only been together for 15 minutes. That's why.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Lawrence Saunders wants compensation from his ex-girlfriend, Kim Thompson, because her new boyfriend smashed his Jeep and lost his handgun.
What other monies do you say she owes you?
$2,600 for a wheel on my Jeep. $900.
Just a minute, $2,600 for the wheel. Why?
Well, when the car was returned to me, the wheel was leaning.
Yeah.
And it was in her possession, and I figured she owed me for it because who knows who she let drive it.
Well, Mr. Saunders.
Yes, ma'am.
When you lend somebody a car or turn a car over to them for an extended period of time, you assume that that car may be used, driven by her, driven by someone else, and you take certain risks. You're not going to get the car back in exactly the same situation as when you went in 2 years ago. You're a different person, I assume, than you were 2 years ago when you went to jail, right?
Very much so.
Very much so.
Yes, ma'am.
So's your car.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. But also, that wheel was leaning so bad that it's unsafe. I do not assume to get my property back in an unsafe condition. Also, ma'am, I'm not upset with anything that happens to my stuff in her possession. But when she lends it out to third parties, that's what I have a problem with. And third parties also who aren't honest.
Well, your arrangement with her was that she paid for the car, make the car payments while you were away, and she would have access to the car.
She agreed to pay for the payments. I also, with the money that I had that she was in possession of, said to her, if you have any problems paying for it, pay for it out of my money.
Did you use his money to pay for the car?
No, ma'am.
That's untrue, ma'am. I have paper right here stating that she did.
I may have made 3 car payments with his money.
Well, why don't you... I just asked you a question. You said no.
I'm talking about over the 2-year period. I used my money to pay for that vehicle.
Well, you were driving the vehicle. And he was driving the vehicle, right?
No, ma'am. He used the vehicle one time.
I don't believe you. I don't believe you that he used it one time, and the one time he used it, he was in an accident. Is that what you're going to tell me?
Yes, ma'am.
Baloney. Miss Thompson.
It was an ice storm.
Miss Thompson, I don't care if it was an ice storm, a tornado, or a typhoon. If you think that I believe that you only let your boyfriend use that car once, I was born in 1965.
Excuse me. I also have a copy of the report here also of the accident. It says nothing about an ice storm.
Whether it says anything about an ice storm, listen to me. She used the car, and it was your agreement that she would pay for the car.
Yes, ma'am.
Once she was using it.
Yes, ma'am.
Because you didn't have a car at the time that was
I
usable.
did have a car.
Then why would you use his car?
Your Honor, in the very beginning, I only drove I did not drive his car. He asked me to drive it because the alarm vehicle was on there. He was afraid it was going to drain the battery if it just sat there.
All you have to do is put the car up on blocks and take out the battery. Isn't that right? If you're not going to use it for a long time?
I don't know anything about that.
Well, you
So
should.
initially I started driving it just on the weekends. After my car went down in '96, then I started driving his car on a daily basis.
So you used it all
Yes,
the
ma'am.
time.
Full time in '96.
So you
But
used
that
it.
was a full year after I had been given possession of the vehicle.
Ma'am, I gave her the car with 37,000 miles on it. I got it back with somewhat of 70,000 miles on it.
Right.
She
Because
Just
I
can somebody
basically
tell me
drive
something?
150 miles
I'm
a
just
day.
interested. I'm interested in. These are the expenses from your 401k. Is that right?
That's what itemized description of what she
Who
gave
uses all
me.
these Bibles?
I was giving them out.
You were giving them out from jail in jail?
Yes, ma'am.
He spent hundreds of dollars on Bibles to give to other inmates.
I could think of worse things. You were driving this car when it was in a bad accident, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Did the insurance cover the cost of that?
Yes, ma'am.
And what was the cost of repairs for the car?
A little over $5,000.
And how much did the insurance pay?
Everything except for $300, my deductible.
I don't see where she owes you a whole bunch of money, sir. I think she owes you for the gun.
Well,
I don't think she owes you for the car, and I'm going to get to her countersuit in a minute. Car's a problem. You let somebody have a car, and that's what happens. I think that the 3 car payments that she took out of your 401k, if she was using the car, she has to pay you back for. If she's treating this car as her own, she's driving it, she's letting her boyfriend drive it, it doesn't seem to me that you got to pay for it. That just sounds fair.
Your Honor,
Okay, yes.
the payments that I made with his money was during the time that I was not driving the vehicle on a daily basis, only on the weekends to go visit him. So I don't see where I should be responsible for that full
Why don't you
payment.
drive your own car to go visit him?
Because his car was newer, he wanted me to drive his car.
that's untrue. Her car
I
was,
don't believe, Miss Thompson, that he ever said that to you.
her car was
The
down.
problem is when you tell a lie once to a court, the court tends to look at everything else that you say with a certain amount of suspicion.
Amen.
I don't believe that he ever said to you, please drive my car instead of yours, and I also don't believe that you only drove his
Well, I'm
car on the
telling you.
weekends if you're telling me that his car was newer than yours.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Lovers that have been together for a while can feel when the other person is drifting off.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. While Lawrence Saunders was in jail, he claims his girlfriend found a new man who damaged his Jeep and lost his gun.
I see 2 car payments that you made, $854 out of his account.
Because it was behind.
Well, he was in jail.
Your Honor, Mr. Saunders had a habit of never paying his bills or not paying them on time.
Yeah, I have no problem with what she's showing with the money, even using my money to pay for my Jeep, okay? I didn't have a problem with that. I asked her, if it would have been up to me, I would have let the vehicle go back and controlled my money until I got back. She said, no, I'll help you, I'll do it for you, you're going to need a vehicle when you get out, no problem. And I think she did pretty much a good job with the money.
Oh, so what are you here for? Are you just mad at her?
No, I'm not mad at her.
So
Again, my car was not, she promised me, I asked her to promise me that she wouldn't give my stuff away to a third party. Some guy, I figured that, I'm going for a while, I'm not a fool. She might be dating, she wants to date. I mean, she's a young girl. She shouldn't be strapped down with some guy that's away, okay? Go ahead, do your thing. But if you're going to take care, you gave me your word that you would take care of my stuff. If you're going to take care of my stuff, take care of my stuff. If something happens to it, that's an act of God. But if you're irresponsible and you're handing it out to people, you're handing it out to people that I don't know, you're handing it out to people who aren't above board, it's not honest. That's my opinion, but I can express it.
But you gave her permission to do that.
I gave...
You expected that she might let somebody else drive the car as long as she was responsible.
No, I didn't.
You didn't?
I asked her, and she promised me that she would not.
Is that true?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And you did. You lent it to somebody else.
I lent it to my family members to move some furniture, and I did loan it to Mr. Hogue.
And you had promised him that you wouldn't.
Yes, ma'am.
And sir, how much did it cost you to fix up the car?
I had a figure of actually Around 3,700 that I lost in trading the car in.
So if he says that he lost money because the car was not driven appropriately by you, Mr. Hogue, some members of your family, and was in an accident, don't you think he should be compensated?
No.
Well, but you think that you have a counterclaim against him for what? You're countersuing him for $5,000. I'd like to hear for what?
For the monies that I paid on the Jeep, Mr. Saunders said that I could have used his money, but he didn't have enough money to cover the cost of the vehicle.
So you want him to pay you for his car that you were using while he was away?
I'm suing him for the fact that he has been, in my opinion, very dishonest about the whole transaction with the vehicle.
Why?
Because, Your Honor, he had initially told me that he was going to pay me back for keeping his vehicle.
Did you ever tell her that?
No.
I believe that you never told her. Ms.
Now,
Thompson,
why would you believe him and not me?
Because you told me already 3 lies today, and we've only been together for 15 minutes.
And he
That's
has
why.
not told you a lie?
That's why. And because it doesn't have the ring of truth. What you're saying doesn't have the ring of truth to it. It
Your
just
Honor.
doesn't. And let me tell you why. Because there were times when he had plenty of money in the bank, and you didn't take the money out of his account to pay for the Jeep. And because according to his statement, which I believe, without his prior authorization, you went and refinanced this car because the payments were too high so that you could make the payments. Is that true?
No, ma'am.
You mean this
I
car was
went-
never refinanced?
Yes, it was. I refinanced the vehicle with his credit union because it was a cheaper monthly payment and less of an interest rate.
For you to pay. And then you made the payments.
And eventually, he would have had to have paid with no job. How was he going to make a $427 payment each month with no job?
Ms. Thompson, so what you're telling me is while you had a new boyfriend, you were concerned about what would happen to Mr. Saunders when he got out of jail.
Judge Judy is ready to rule.
Ms. Thompson, so what you're telling me is while you had a new boyfriend, you were concerned about what would happen to Mr. Saunders when he got out of jail.
Yes, I was.
The countersuit is dismissed. On your lawsuit, sir, this was a very good lesson for you,
Yes, ma'am.
right? I wouldn't give my closest relative power of attorney over my money without my having the ability to co-sign for it. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Very bad idea. I am only dealing now with this gun because as far as I'm concerned with regard to the Jeep, which is now sold, she used it, she paid for it for a substantial period of time. You sold it, whatever monies that you got, you lost money, but some of the monies that you got for it were monies that she paid. It was almost like renting a car from a rental company. She had the ability to use that car for almost 2 years, so she used it. It's a wash. You owe for the gun. The gun should not have been in his house. The gun should have been where he left it, in a vault, someplace safe. Judgment in this case is for the plaintiff in the amount of $200. Thank you. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out. Mr. Back, go to your right, please. Mills, step forward, please.
60-year-old retired aerospace exec George Boyer says he reached a sugar daddy arrangement with Demetria Mills when she was 18 years old. Now he wants her to pay back money because she had another boyfriend.
Order. All rise. Your Honor, this is case number 201 on the calendar in the matter of Boyer versus Mills. Parties have been sworn in, Your Honor. You may be seated. Have a seat, ma'am.
Mr. Boyer, you're suing the defendant for $5,000.
Yes, ma'am.
Why don't you tell me why she owes you $5,000?
Well, it all started when I had a financial ad running in the newspaper
When was this?
back in spring of 1994 for personal loans. I'm an investor, and she answered the ad asking for a loan. And I said, well, you really didn't qualify for the loan. What's the problems? And she discussed them briefly with me. I said, well, let's get together and maybe I can help you out. Because she sounded like she had a desperate situation.
Am I correct, Mr. Boyer, that in 1994 you began to have a relationship with Miss Mills?
Yes, we did.
And She lived in your home occasionally. Is that right?
Well, she moved in.
Yes. And in 1994, sir, how old were you?
Well, I was 58.
You were 58. And how old were you, Miss Mills, in 1994?
I was 18, turning 19.
You were 18. Did you feel uncomfortable about that, Mr. Boyer?
Not really.
She's 18 years old. She's a baby.
Yeah, that's right.
In any
I
event.
thought she was 19, going on 20.
Well, that makes all the
Okay.
difference in the world,
No,
sir.
I mean, no, just a matter of factual accuracy, I think. Yeah.
In any event, from a reading of your complaint over the years, you helped her financially and supported her. Is that right?
At certain points of time, yes.
Well, she lived in your house and you paid the
Well,
rent?
it was really like in 3 different stages. First of all, if you want to call this the sugar daddy stage, it was only 4 months.
Well, I'm glad you did, so I
Well,
didn't have
you know,
to.
I just put it all on the table. That was the first 4 months. I played by the sugar daddy rules. She didn't play by the princess rules. In other words, I did
Why don't
everything
you
I felt.
explain that? Just a second. I'm a little stupid, so why don't you explain that to me?
Okay. I fully supported her, got a car for her use, paid her tuition in school. I was trying to get it be a bridge for her to get from when she was, when I first met her, which was down and out big time, to getting through school, getting through her surgical technology school, being successful, and treating her like a first-class girl during that period. And I was there to carry it all the way through. I don't think she saw it the same way because she had boyfriends on her side. She was having sex with other guys. She brought home an STD for me. Thank you very much. Sexually transmitted disease. And I told her to pack up and get out. And I gave her some big money to go back to Alabama so she could get there safe and sound. None of the debts I'm asking for her to repay occurred during that period of time. They occurred much later. When she wanted to come to my house, she was begging me to come to my house. I said, okay, but not on the same terms. You work your part-time, I'll help you through school, furnish free rent and food.
During that second period of time, sir, did you have sexual relations with the defendant?
Occasionally, although I backed off, and she was wondering why, because...
The word is occasionally.
Occasionally, yeah.
Okay, so she was 19, 20, and you were close to 60 at the time.
Yeah, approximately.
Okay. And is that the period of time that you're talking about, these when loans were made to her?
That's right.
What were the loans for?
She had a real bad habit on the telephone, long-distance phone calls. After I cut her off, she went to her sister, got her calling card, ran up $600 in 2 months. I talked to her sister, so I know. She comes, so now she has no way to make calls. So she makes third-party calls, and the third party doesn't know that she's making these calls, charging her number, charging to their number. I get the phone bill 3 months later for March calls. It's a June phone bill. She says, oh, I'm going to pay you. As soon as I call her, she says, oh, I'll pay you.
So
she never paid me, so that's number one.
Okay, this is very simple. She billed into a third party. The third party ultimately said, I'm not accepting the charges. They billed it back to the phone, your phone in your house.
This is after she already moved out.
Okay. I really should be right up front with you. I find your initial position really very unsympathetic. Do you understand me?
Sure.
You know, I mean, it's a court, and we're bound by certain rules. If she owes you money, you're going to get that money. But I find a 60-year-old guy playing a sugar daddy to an 18, 19-year-old girl, it's sort of, you get what you deserve. That's the way I feel. Now, she may have been a pretty savvy 18, 19-year-old girl, but even a pretty savvy 18, 19-year-old girl is still a baby.
She's
fully
very
cooked.
street smart.
Street smart, yes, but not fully cooked, sir, and not fully cooked. So,
but,
I mean, you played sugar daddy, and sometimes there's a meltdown and you get your fingers burned.
If she wants to accept that role in my life, then she should do it right and not be having sex with all these different guys and having all these different guys call the house. How long am I supposed to put up with this stuff? And be right and be good to her.
It's one of the problems that you face, sir, when you're 60 and you fool around with somebody who's young enough to be your grandchild.
Okay, that second period.
All right?
Hey, I know the age.
What else?
I got that.
What else does she owe you
Doesn't mean I'm still not a man.
Come.
At 60 years old, I'm still a man. I'm much more capable than a lot of punks out there living with their mothers, and they're sleeping with these girls. At least I can take care of business. Tell me about it. And I can do everything they can do and maybe better.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I knew it was going to come down to this lowest common denominator, sex with a young girl. Big deal. Man, they should have it so good.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Demetria Mills says 60-year-old retired aerospace executive George Boyer knew she had another boyfriend when they made their sugar daddy arrangement.
What else?
Next one, direct my Porsche, making an illegal U-turn.
I'm not considering that she's wrecking your Porsche, sir. Did she agree to pay you for it?
She agreed to pay me for it.
Did you ever agree to pay
She told her relative she'd pay for it.
Shh. Did she ever agree with you?
Yes.
When?
After it was wrecked. She came home feeling real bad.
Let me see the loan agreement that she made with you.
There it is right
that
here.
I'm going to look at.
There it is right here. It's itemized on page 3.
All right.
She agreed to pay this back.
Just a minute.
And she knew she owed it to me. This is during the second period, and I was not playing sugar daddy during that period. I was just helping her out. I was just trying to be nice to her. Excuse me. She had problems.
All right, let's see your end, Miss Mills.
George made a proposition to me. He knew that I was vulnerable. He took...
Don't tell me what he knew. You moved in. How long had you been living alone?
Not very long. This was my roommate before I moved in with George, and we were there just a few months.
Where do you originally come from?
I'm originally from Alabama.
So you lived with George for a while in sort of this relay. He was taking care of you and giving you money. Then you moved out. For how long?
Basically for 3 years. He took care of me even when I moved to Alabama. George was sending me money. George took me on trips. George sent me to Alabama a few times, a few different times. George bought a car.
Boyfriend's paid a trip too.
George, and that's George's problem right now, Judge Judy, is I'm not in his home. This is why he's doing this to me. Had I still been in his home, he wouldn't have a problem with me now. When I made the decision to move out of his home was because I needed to be by myself and on my own, and I didn't want to be in that situation anymore.
Well, I agree with you. You shouldn't have been in the situation in the first place.
Exactly.
Okay, and for that, he's more responsible than you are because of his age. He should be a little bit smarter. He should be 3 times as smart as you are because, because he's 3 times as old. But you do acknowledge, even in your answer, that you owe him some money.
Yes, but this is not the agreement. The agreement that I signed for that car, I signed that agreement in January of 1995. I'm sure he has a copy of it. I've seen it in his files of his records. That was for a 1989 Buick that he bought for me.
Now, did you pay him for it?
No, I did not.
So you acknowledge?
Yes, I did.
If I bought it for her, how come I'm the lien holder on it?
She's the lien holder, but I'm the registered owner,
Listen
Judge
to
Judy.
me. What are you fighting about, Mr. Boyer? She acknowledges that she owes you $3,000, which you haven't paid any part of, plus interest at 6%. Correct?
Correct.
You
I gave her a
acknowledge
good
this.
deal.
What?
I gave her a good deal, 6% interest.
You gave us some good deal, sir. Bird, do me a favor.
Your Honor,
Take the old calculator while we're finishing this case up. Would you do 6% interest on this money since 95?
This is after she cheated on me.
Excuse me, Your
I
Honor.
heard she cheated on you, sir. I heard all of that. I'm telling you, your position with me, Mr. Boyer, is not terribly sympathetic, sir. I mean, I don't know whether you find women who are contemporaries not as interesting as children, but at age 18, she's really still a child. And you may say, oh, she's sophisticated, and she's worldly, and she's savvy, and she's street savvy.
Right.
Mr. Boyer,
Yes, ma'am.
she's a baby. 18 years old and a baby, and vulnerable because she doesn't have any money, and you got some money, and it's very tempting. But you are not a very sympathetic person in my eyes, sir. You're going to get some of the money, but because she signed for it. Do you understand? But the rest of the stuff, I'm not so sure about.
Excuse me, Judge Judy.
What?
You know, everything besides that car that George did for me because he wanted to do it. I mean, for 3 years, I'm 23 now, just turned 23 Friday. Would somebody do that kind of stuff for 3 years if they did not want to?
Miss Mills, I haven't gotten to you yet. You are a beautiful, seemingly intelligent young woman who should have more pride in herself, even when you're 18, to sell your body for money, which is what you did. That's what you did. That's being no different than a prostitute. You may have used the money to go to school, to go on trips and whatever, but he bought the services. That was the arrangement. He's an old lecher. No question about it. That's what he is. And I'm being kind to Mr. Boyer. You, on the other hand, sold your body for money.
It was an agreement that we had. That was the basis of our arrangement. He was to give me what I needed, and I gave him.
You sold your body for money. You are worth more than that. As a woman, smart, good-looking woman, you're worth more than that. I don't care if you have to work 2 jobs. I don't care if you collect cans. I don't care if you clean people's houses. I don't care if you drive a bus, drive a car, drive a cab. You do whatever you can so that you don't have to sell your body for money.
Judge Judy is ready to rule. And later today,
You're a pathetic little girl, you're immature, and I'm sick of your crap. You owe me $1,500.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Demetria Mills says 60-year-old retired aerospace executive George Boyer knew she had another boyfriend when they made their sugar daddy arrangement.
Mr. Boyer, you are a very lucky man today, sir.
Gee.
Because despite the fact that I find that your arrangement with this young lady is the antithesis of good manners, good breeding, or anything moral, I am awarding you what she signed for in her contract, which was payment on the car, and I am awarding you $3,360. As far as her other bills are concerned, swallow them. That's all.
Party's not excused. You may step out.
Sorry, that's all right.
Back to your right, please.
She's fully grown up. I don't care what her age is. She knows what she's doing, and she's cagey. Judge Judy focused on the sugar daddy stuff because I'm 60. I'm some ancient old man who doesn't have a right to be a regular human being and expect to be treated like a human being, expect people I have agreements with to keep their agreements with me.
And now the next case.
Party's on Glass versus Carr. Step forward, please.
23-year-old Tiffany Glass is suing her former roommate, 20-year-old Kelly Carr, because she says Kelly moved out of their apartment, giving only 5 days' notice and leaving behind numerous unpaid phone bills.
Miss Glass, Miss Carr was your roommate.
Yes.
Did you know her before she moved into your apartment?
No, I did not.
Did she answer an ad? Is that how she got your apartment?
No, she got it through a friend of mine.
And you have a 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom apartment?
2-bedroom, 2-bathroom.
What was her rent?
$375.
And how long were you living in bliss with the defendant?
She moved in February, and it was fine. You know, we totally got along. It was fine in March, and it kind of started to go down at the end of March. You know.
Now, had she paid you for February?
Yes.
She paid you for March?
Yes.
When did she move out?
At the end of May.
She pay you for April?
Yes.
She pay you for May?
Yes.
So why are we here?
Because she left at the very end of May, and she gave me 5 days' notice to find somebody new and decided that she didn't have to pay anything else.
Did you have a lease with her?
No.
So?
She just left.
You weren't getting along?
Correct.
Is that right?
Right.
Why weren't you getting along?
Well, I didn't really know. There wasn't enough communication between the two of us.
But you knew enough to know that you weren't getting along?
Pretty much. But there was never enough, oh, well, I'm moving out. Oh.
It's hard to live with somebody.
Yes, it is.
Well, since she paid you for the months that she was there and she moved out 5 days before the end of the month, did she owe you any money? I mean, other than the rent. I'm not considering the rent.
Before that, she didn't pay the deposit when she moved in, but I said, don't worry about that until June because, you know, at the end of June, the other roommate blah, blah, was going to get hers, and then she could give it to me then.
Fine, so we're not talking about the deposit. But other than the rent, she's paid up?
Oh, no, there's several phone bills. And
What phone bills?
Which phone bills?
Mm-hmm.
There was phone bills from, the statement date was on June 23rd, and then it went back into May. It went from May to June. And there was a $40 900 call that I shouldn't have paid, and there were several long-distance phone calls.
In what amount? Come, quickly.
Around $75
In long-distance calls?
in long-distance calls.
Okay. Tell me why you left.
I left because living with her was unbearable. I went through, starting back at the end of March, early April, out of the blue, I started getting notes on my bed saying, you need to stay away from my friends. When I first moved in with her, I had just moved down to California. I didn't know very many people. Tiffany was nice, and she took me out. She introduced me to people, but then she tried to take that away. She said, you stay away from my friends. My friends are my friends. Your friends are your friends. You're going to make my life miserable.
So girly things.
Girly things.
Girly things. All right. Girly things. You paid February, March, April, and May. She says that you owe her $115 for phone bills.
I owed her approximately $150 for everything. That was gas, everything. And I told her when I gave her 2 weeks' notice that I would be leaving, that I will pay that. You just send me the bills to my grandmother's house, and then I'll send you a check. But when that happened, she began leaving harassing, vulgar phone mails on my voicemail. I would get them at work. They would disturb me at work. I would have to leave work because I would be so upset. I got harassing I have copies of the messages on papers. I have letters that she sent me threatening me.
That you owe her money?
That I owe her money, and if I don't, she's telling I quote, every living soul what I have done to her. I didn't do anything to her. I was protecting myself. I left. I didn't have to give her any notice, but I gave her 2 weeks' notice, being the last week of May, and then the first week of June, and I gave her 1 week's rent.
For June?
For June. I have paper here to prove it.
Judge Judy is ready to...
Gadanian, step forward, please.
Tracy Kennedy, a 28-year-old manicurist, claims her business neighbor, Bijan Gadanian, scammed her into moving out of her premises so he could move in. She says she was promised $3,000, but never received it.
Order, all rise. Yeah, this is case number 107 on the calendar in the matter of Kennedy versus Gadanian. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Have a seat, sir.
All right, well, this is an interesting story. Miss Kennedy, you had a beauty salon that was there prior to the defendant's business moving right next door. Is that right?
His business was actually there, but he just bought it. There was the first owner there when I moved in.
But he was not there when you moved in.
Right.
You have a beauty salon. He has a...
Paging and cellular service business.
Okay. And according to your complaint, you were in this salon for about 6 months when the defendant approached you and said that he was interested in expanding his space.
Right. I was in there for a year, and he had been in there about 6 months when he approached me.
Okay, so after a year he approached you and said...
He pulled me aside on the front porch and said, can we talk for a few minutes? I said, sure. He said that he was, wanted to know how long I intended on being in my space.
And how long was your lease, Miss Kennedy?
I didn't have a lease. I was month to month. But I did plan on being there for quite some time.
How much was the rent on it?
$525 a month.
Okay. So the defendant approached you, according to your papers, and said, I'm interested in expanding my business. Would you like to move?
Right.
And you said what?
I said I had no intentions of leaving. Then he said I would be willing to compensate you to leave, move your business elsewhere. And I said, you know, let me think about it for a little while, and I'll get back to you, but I really had no intentions at the time of leaving. I had only been there a year.
So?
So I said, let me think about it. 2 days later, I came back to him, and I said, yeah, I think I want to take up your offer. I think that instead of moving someplace else, I'm just going to, you know, go to work for someone else. The market's really hard to find someone in my business right now, and, you know, I would love to just work for someone else for a while. And I said, you know, I need enough money to pay my bills.
What bills?
the loans that I had on the salon. I had one from the bank, and I borrowed a couple $1,000s from my husband's parents.
So how much did you ask him for?
$3,000 was the agreed amount.
And did he agree to giving you $3,000 if you would move?
Yes.
So he was really buying you out of your space, according to you.
Basically, right.
And what happened, according to your papers,
right,
which I read very carefully, was that eventually you were told that when he went to negotiate his lease with the landlord, he said to him, I'll give you half of what she was paying in rent.
Right.
The landlord said, absolutely not.
Right. He then came next door to me and said the deal's not going to go through, but by then I had...
If you take longer than others to make decisions, if you sit there stuck between options, overthinking every possible outcome while everyone else seems to move fast and confidently, I want you to hear this clearly. You are not lazy, you are not weak, and you are definitely not broken. You need time before making decisions because your brain is built to protect you, not rush you. Think about student life for a second. Assignments, career choices, friendships, relationships, daily routines, even small decisions feel heavy. You tell yourself, just decide already, but your mind freezes. Psychology explains this very simply. Your brain is running simulations. It is trying to predict consequences. It is scanning for risk. It is asking, what happens if this goes wrong? That pause you hate, that delay you judge, is actually your brain doing deep processing. Most people use fast thinking, quick reactions, surface-level judgment. But some minds naturally use slow thinking, deeper analysis, long-term impact. Research shows this kind of thinking is linked to higher accuracy, not speed. Now, let me show you how this plays out during your day. In the morning, you wake up already tired. Your brain has limited energy, so even choosing when to start studying feels hard. Decision fatigue kicks in early. The brain says, wait, not because you are lazy, but because it wants to avoid wasting energy. Simple fix. Reduce morning choices. Study at the same time, same place, same routine. Less decisions means more focus. By afternoon, you start overthinking bigger things. Should I change my major? Should I skip this class? Should I message that person? This is where emotional risk shows up. Your brain links decisions to past pain, failures, embarrassment, disappointment. So it slows you down. It wants certainty before action. What helps here? Write decisions down, on paper. Seeing options outside your head reduces anxiety. It turns chaos into structure. In the evening, burnout hits. Your brain is overloaded. Focus drops. Motivation disappears. You think something is wrong with you, but psychology says your cognitive resources are empty. This is not decision time. This is recovery time. Rest, light tasks, no major choices. Now, here's the most important part. Needing time does not mean you are indecisive. It means you care about outcomes. It means you think long-term. It means your brain values stability. Fast decisions look confident, but slow decisions often age better. Some of the smartest students, the deepest thinkers, the most emotionally mature people are slow deciders. They move carefully, but when they move, they commit. So stop attacking yourself for pausing. Start respecting your processing speed. Build systems, not pressure. Trust that your pace is not a flaw. It's a strength that just needs structure. If this made you feel understood, like the video, subscribe for more psychology that actually helps students. And share this with someone who thinks they're falling behind. You are not behind. You're just thinking deeper.